Hello, this is an introduction for the book Computer Engineering for Big Babies. It's the second one from Chase Roberts, and Computer Engineering for Babies was the first one, and now we are for the big babies. I also try to explain what you can actually see in case you're not familiar with all this stuff. Before I go into details, let's show it for people who already know what everything is. This is a D-latch. Here we have a D-latch. We have nice background. I don't know. A nice background, yes. And we have a nice explanation of what the D-latch actually does. Next one, we have a shift register. Again, we have an explanation of what the shift register actually does. Then we have a decoder. Again, an explanation. You see these holes in here, they are for the light sensors. The book does not have any wiring inside the pages. Instead, it uses light sensors to figure out on which page it is and which functionality it should show. Here we have a muxer. And now it's getting very interesting. Here we have a memory write. And I should say spoiler alert. So if you don't want to be spoiled and you say, oh, this already looks pretty good, then you should stop the video now. And here we have a memory read. And they're actually connected. So whatever you can write here, whatever you write here will stay and you can read it in the memory read. So you have, for example, this one. You see the color, you don't see the coloring because the camera is not good, but it is the same here. It's the same here, so you can actually read the memory. The one value here, this one value here is not really set, so this will change, but the other three values are set, so they will stay, and then you can read it out here, depending on how you set the stuff here. Okay, that being said, that was already 2 minutes. Let's go over this a little bit slower. Okay, here we have this book. This is the first one. And I actually, honestly, is this the same as the D-latch? Okay, so the D-latch, let me show what you're seeing. So you can store this value. You see this one is blinking. This is like the input value, and this is a stored value. If I change the input value to something else, the D-latch will not let it through. That means like inside this area, this value is still stored. I can now say, well, I want to store a new value, so I make it free to store a new value. Now both are blinking, and now I want to really store it, so I switch the I turn the yellow switch again, and you see we have still an input signal, but this value is not blinking anymore. So even if the input value is now changing, this will not change. And this is the functionality of a D-latch. It's a memory. It's a memory for used in computers. Here we have a shift register, which essentially works like a conveyor belt. So everything that's here will push down. So they will slowly go down. So you will see if I turn the switch, which one? Okay, if I turn the yellow switch, then the orange should go here, and the purple should go here, and whatever is here will also go down. Now it's purple, so we have two purples after that. The green fell out. We have two purples here. We can switch to the color blue. We have many colors here. Every time when we switch it, the color changes. Let's say we have a blue one here, and we go again. Let's put in a green one, and we go again, and you see it always kind of goes down. Okay, now we have a decoder. With a decoder, each combination of switches activates a different output. I'm pretty sure, I actually think this is self-explanatory. Now the red switch is on top, yellow switch is top, yellow switch bottom, yellow switch top, red switch bottom. I hope this is self-explanatory. Okay, here we have a muxer. Okay, this is a good explanation. You can figure this out. I don't want to spoil, so I will let you figure it out. Okay. And here we have the memory write that I already mentioned, so we can set values here. The setting is a little bit difficult. I hope you can. Oh, this is very difficult actually. Yeah, you can't really see it. So now this is slowly changing colors. So one of them is always like in this changing color mode. and you can switch the which one is in the changing column, and if you switch it stays. So this is now purple, very difficult to see in the video. Here we have green, we can say and wait until it's turning to purple, and then we can switch. Now this is the one that we're writing. We can wait until this is purple, and now we set this one. Now all of them are purple, and now oops, we can go to the next one. Okay, the first one stayed a little blue. So now we are reading this purple one. Well, it's not so much fun if everything is purple, right? But if I switch the red switch now to the top, then we can read the blue one. We can also just write other values. Let's write a couple of other values here. I don't know. Let's wait for something. Again, difficult to see. We have green here. Okay, that was not smart. Okay, now we have a couple of values here. So we have green here, and we have purple here. We have green now. So this green here. Maybe the first one, maybe this is green yellowish. And here we have this one. And you can see again, like we have this, how they are wired. So you can see, well, these are, this is the, let's say this is the memory. And it uses this thing, whatever this is. And then if you look back here, we learned that this is already a muxer. So we basically just have a muxer. And when we now see, okay, how does the memory write works? Then we have a decoder here. And we also learned about the decoder here. So here's the decoder. This is how the decoder works. And you put the decoder in front of whatever this is. This is D and N. It says D and N. And we learned this in the beginning here. D and N. So this is a D latch. So essentially what the memory does is, what the memory read and write is, just a D latch with a decoder in the front. And then you have signals coming in, pouring in. And then on the other side, if you want to read something, you just have a muxer. Was it a muxer? No, the muxer. It was a muxer, right? It was a muxer. They will, and these are the D latches. They will just read the D latch values. So for the muxer here, in this case, we used something different. So we had these here. So it was a little bit of a different setup. So we had values already here, and we control here via these two cables which one we want to read, basically. Oh, that was a spoiler. Anyway, and the idea is that if you can see the memory read now, you have the same wiring here. And this is what I pretty much like. Actually, let's go to the personal review section. What I like in this book is that you basically go step by step. So you learn these part things and learn how they interact, and then because it's all written down here, you can see how like. When you just hear what's the memory read, then you have no idea what it is. But okay, we learned about the muxer, we learned about the D latches, and we even learned about the decoder. So now you understand how you could basically write your create your own memory. Yes. Also, it's basically the same. The book is basically the same as the first one. Same structure. You also have this thick part in the end here for all the electronics. I mean, you have the light sensors over here. One thing I'm not very happy about is they are basically exposed. But I guess you can just put a tape on it. And also here you see the holes. I don't know how deep it goes into the circuitry, but I guess you could, if you put some liquid on this, it might be a problem for the circuitry. So in that case, I would cover all things up. But I also mentioned this to Robert Chase directly, so he already knows that, and he's already aware of the issue and tries to work on this as far as I'm concerned. I also had a, yeah. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, and on a personal last note, I really, really like this book. I'm so happy that Chase Roberts did this, both books. I can really recommend both books. Even though, like I said, even though the circuitry is a little bit exposed, but dude, this is so awesome.